One more type art here. We have another video today. So we're going to be talking about what am I going to talk about? Let's talk about the automotive industry. After being a decade in the automotive industry, I've been in the decade for about like 10 years now. I started working on cars ever since I was 16 actually. Now really thinking about it. That's crazy to think about it. Starting with my first oil change, going to college at Port Chester, having numerous jobs, Monroe, Hyundai, working for Toyota, working for Ford. So I've seen the dealership experience. I kind of know how the field is. So I want to give you a couple tips as you're starting out being a mechanic in this field as a 1998 baby or something like that. I'll try to infiltrate whatever title I can in this. Maybe working in the environment as a Gen Z person, maybe something like that, but let's just get straight into the video. Number one, you need to be able to tolerate jokes, especially the cold humor jokes. In this field, it's very common in the automotive field for people to come off with cold jokes, dark jokes. If you can't tolerate that, you won't last long in this field because you will be associating yourself a lot with service advisors, other mechanics, and stuff like that. So you have to be, number two, talk active. You have to be very confident, very assertive. You have to be open for communication in this field. So if you're very hidden, you're very closed off in this field, it's going to be very hard for you to succeed, because I come from a person that's very closed off, and it's very hard to get around because you're going to be making mistakes, and you need to be the person that kind of owns up to your mistakes. As far as getting mistakes and slide them into the rug in this field does not work out. It might work in your McDonald's, it might work in your Burger King, your usual cashier job, but as a mechanic, it will not slide through, because you have to realize that you are responsible for the person's car. You're the person working on it. You're the only one that has hands on their car while their car's at the shop. So be responsible, be assertive, and be willing to work around opening yourself up more. Which leads me to number three. You have to be willing to deal with pressure. In this field, when you're starting out, you have to be very open to advances, very open to accelerate in the field, and show that you have dedication. Integrity is an important part. Make sure you do your job, make sure you're doing it in a timely manner, but also providing quality work too. What I've realized throughout this time, ever since I started working in the automotive industry for the past 10 years, is that you will progress as you go. You don't have to rush the process of trying to get good, but you most definitely have to take an initiative to try to do better every day in this field. As somebody, personally, me, myself, I like to take my time and make sure I'm doing a good job. So on the other end of that, people were motivating me to hurry up. Now, if you're a person that does stuff in a rush, you might get from a service advisor, your service manager, come up to you and say, hey, can you think it chillax a little bit? We're getting a lot of people coming back. Their oil is drain plugs leaking or whatever it is. There's oil messes everywhere. That will happen. It's very, very common in this field for mistakes to happen. But at some point, you do have to kind of grow up into the field and do something about it and correct it. Number four, as a person in this field, what you have to realize is that you're going to start off with your cheap tools. Start with cheap tools. You're going to need your impact guns. You are going to need millimeter wrenches, millimeter sockets, torque wrenches, many of these other tools. You want to start with cheap tools first, because in this field, you don't not want to be buying expensive stuff. The Matco trucks, the Snap-on trucks. You do not want to be going crazy spending your money on this stuff, because you're going to end up in debt very, very quickly. And it's very easy to get into debt in this field. So please be careful. Only buy quality stuff if it's stuff that you're using a lot, like your ratchets, your impact wrenches, your torque wrenches. That's where you want to spend the big bucks. Your sockets, your actual wrenches. But I wouldn't waste your big money on picks. I wouldn't waste your money on trying to think of other stuff, of day-by-day stuff. Your oil filter wrenches, maybe that, but yeah, it's kind of hit or miss. It depends on what automotive field you're at, but for your basic oil change stuff, I would most definitely invest a lot of money into that stuff. In your usual tar rotations, torquing down the lug nuts, whatever. And that was number four, is start off small. Don't go buying the stuff to get into debt. Number five is I had to give myself advice. Let's think. Let me think on that. Distractions. Number 6, whatever number we're at. Distractions. In this field, it's very easy to get distracted in our technology today in 2024. Not as much back then when I first started out, technology wasn't as bad as of an issue, but now in 2023, 2022, 2024, distractions, cell phones, absolutely crazy. Earphones, not so much, just as long as it's not distracting you from communication with the service advisor or other people in the field. So that you're communicating with every day, obviously. But cell phones are definitely something that needs to be managed and controlled, because of the fact that sometimes you have an oil change, you're waiting to hear back from an advisor for filters and stuff, and your phone might be getting in the middle of the way, and that's fine. But don't let it be something that you're glued onto for 30 minutes, 25 minutes. It's understandable if you have to make a phone call because somebody's not home, you need your dog taken care of, but if you're scrolling on Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that, try to avoid that as much as possible. I've lost many jobs being on my phone distracted, so I'm just speaking based on experience. What I generally like to do personally is I get a playlist in the morning and I just set the playlist. That's it. If I want to change it, I wait for a time, whether it's my 15-minute break or my 30-minute break, and I change the playlist, get back into work, go for my rotation again of the shift. Holidays in this business, you get off. Sometimes you get paid for it, sometimes you don't. These are quick little pointer tips. Insurance in these companies are absolutely horrible. Do not get them. They do not cover a lot. They don't have as good coverages. They're very flashy and stuff. But what I would highly recommend is, if you want to get started in the automotive field, look for a state job, because state jobs will most definitely pay well. Not only that, they'll have really, really good benefits too. I'm speaking based on the fact that I've worked for state jobs in nursing homes and for syringe companies, and they have the best insurance when it comes to that stuff. Even cleanings for your teeth are usually like $20 copays. Just for an idea, $250, $300 for each corner of your mouth for cleaning. That's like $1,000 for the whole cleaning. So that should tell you a lot when you don't have insurance. And insurance is definitely a need as soon as you start getting older. Bounce your own ideas. Pay. Number 8, pay. Make sure that you're getting paid well. I've gotten ripped off at some jobs for payments as far as hourly, obviously not salary. You'll get that. I will get that as soon as I start progressing, maybe in my 20-year anniversary of being in the field, or 17-year anniversary. But for now, you should be thinking about hourly. And I would try to fight for 19 an hour when you're starting out, or maybe close to 17 an hour. 17, 19 in Connecticut personally is fine. But anything more than 20, you're going to have to prove some type of experience that you have, whether if that's backyard experience or college experience. And my last one, so I can end this video, is experience. You do not need college for this. In 2023, you do not need college to be a mechanic. Get backyard experience anywhere that you can. Oil changes, rotations, brakes. Have somebody that wants to come to you consistently to do free work. Get your experience that way. Watch people do the work. I've seen people pull out engines, transmissions, just so I can get the experience of just looking, seeing what the person that's doing the job is going through, looking for sockets, getting angry. All this stuff matters, and it gives you experience. You do not need college for this stuff. You don't. I wasted 35 grand in this field trying to get experience in the automotive field, now realizing that you don't need college for this stuff. You really, really don't. 90% of my tools got stolen because people don't respect people's stuff. That's my fault, obviously, but I'm expressing you that. And the last fact is, your tools are super important. Lock those stuff up. Bring them home if you have to. Don't get the big toolboxes just yet when you're starting out. You will get there eventually, step by step. As soon as you start getting raises, start using that money to upgrade your tools. Maybe you're a lot younger, you might get raises to, you want to move out. And that's fine too, but make sure you are living below your means so that you can upgrade your tools eventually, because service managers, service advisors, other technicians look for that stuff to make sure that you're ready for the next big project in this field. And you have to be, because if they're going to want to move you up and put you in a more stable position rather than being in a vulnerable position of being fired, they want to see that you're putting the commitment on buying tools, that you're dedicated, and that you have integrity. That's it for the video today. I love you guys, and God loves you. Peace out.